Good afternoon, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Thank you again for coming back. I always appreciate your presence. Today is December the 10th, 2022. I have some update uh, to share with you. So the pressure on Prosperity Party from Oromo communities at home and in the diaspora increasing. So students all over the country, uh, from elementary to university level, came out, denounced the ongoing genocide in East, especially in East and West Wallega, and the Fano cross-border atrocities. Plus, they demanded the resignation of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Shimalis Abdisa, the Oromia regional president. So now the Oromo Diaspora Committee also putting more pressure, denouncing the government, denouncing the regime, and denouncing the Fano terrorist organization. Yesterday, the Oromo community in Atlanta, Georgia, they came out, did their part. Now we have the Seattle, Washington, right now in a live protest. So this is encouraging. This should continue. As I said, is a 1 day or 2 day protest cannot bring change. It should be a sustained, a sustainable protest campaign, Twitter campaign, calling the White House, calling the State Department, addressing to our senators, congressmen. It should continue like that until the system is removed, until this system is changed. So the Prosperity Party, they are already feeling the pressure. They are feeling the pressure. They are, especially the Oromia Regional Prosperity Party, they had closed door meeting to discuss the current issue. Now I have a news from Addis Standard, the federal government and the regional states police commissioners having a discussion on the current issue, on media and on politicians. They claim inciting or adding fuel. So they are feeling the pressure. So this pressure should continue at home and around the world. We need to see Canadians. We need to see Australians. We need to see France, Germany, Oromo communities, Sweden, and other European countries. They should come out and be the voice for these voiceless people suffering under Prosperity Party. It's not only the Fano. Yes, we need to say Fano must get out of Oromia, but Fano is just one tool the government is using. So we have to unite our voice against the system, against Prosperity Party or Abiy Ahmed, and demand transitional government in that country, which can represent the society. So we need to focus our message on a big picture. The big picture is Prosperity Party, a failed leadership under Abiy Ahmed. So I will start uh, with Seattle, Washington protest. So, Oromos at home, especially, they are just leaving the protest to students. No, all Oromos must join students. It's not only the business of a student. All Oromos are suffering. Thousands and thousands of Oromos are in jail. And nobody knows how many killed. So Oromos don't stay on the side, join the students Oromo protesters, join them, and so internal and external pressure can bring change uh, one day to this Prosperity Party failed leadership. So let's listen what the Seattle protesters are saying. Then I will continue with other news. Thank you again for coming back. Just a little bit.
Yes! Stop supporting Ethiopian government! Ethiopian government is a killer! Ethiopian government is a killer! US! US! Stop supporting Ethiopian government! Ethiopian government is a killer! Stop supporting Ethiopian government! Eritrean soldiers out of Ethiopia! Eritrean militia out of Ethiopia! Eritrean troop! Eritrean troop out of Ethiopia! Yes! Yes! Stop supporting Ethiopian government! Ethiopian government is a killer! Ethiopian government is a killer! Yes! Yes! Stop supporting Ethiopian government! Ethiopian government is a killer! Amara Fanda! Amara Fanda! Amara Oromia! Amara Fanda! Oromia! Amara Militia! Amara Oromia! Amara Militia! Amara Oromia! Hey, Oromo! Turku! Turku! USA! Biden! Biden! Break your silence! Biden! Biden! Break your silence! Genocide happening right now in Ethiopia! Biden! Don't send all money for dictator! Ethiopian government! Dictator! Ethiopian government! Genocider! USA! USA! Wake up! Genocide happening right now in Ethiopia! Oromo people! We stand with all people! We stand with Oromo people! We are Oromo! We are Oromo! Biden! Break your silence! Don't fight for tax money for dictator! USA! USA! Stop sending more money for dictator! Ethiopian government is dictator! USA! USA! Wake up! Genocide happening right now in Ethiopia! Biden! Biden! Break your silence! Biden! Break your
What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Forsberg, three-time Formula Drift champion, and we're hanging out with the eBay Motors crew at SEMA 2022 in their Drift Along booth. Wake up! USA! Wake up! Biden! Don't support! Tequila! USA! USA! Stop! We! USA! Wake up! Genocide! Happening! Right now! In Ethiopia! No! Oromo! No! Oromo!
Okay, so that's
Good job.
Now, Kenya and Eritrea.
okay. That's the Seattle, Washington Oromo diaspora community protesting on behalf of voiceless Oromos back home, and they are demanding action and from President Joe Biden, demanding to end his silence on the genocide happening in Oromia, and demanding the U.S. government stop sending our tax money to Ethiopia. I don't know if they are doing that, but I'm not sure. I have seen one in Addis Standard. I'll read that one. It says UK fully supporting Ethiopia's path to recovery. That is a challenging one. We don't want to support the Ethiopian government. We want to bring them to justice. But if you are supporting like the war victims in Oromia, the war victims in Tigray and other region, that may be okay. But to support Prosperity Party to recover, that is wrong. That is wrong. So UK Foreign Minister, I think I'll read that one. So the pressure should continue. The pressure on US to do more, to talk about Oromos and Oromos suffering by the drones. And the other thing I didn't hear, these protesters, they should protest against the government supporting military hardware to Ethiopia. I didn't hear that one. Whether Turkey, Iran, or China, or somebody is supplying. So we should denounce that one. We should denounce those countries supplying drones to Abiy Ahmed. We need to have a big slogan against them. And we have to go to their embassy to show our, disagreement with their policy. So we should do that one. The next protest is coming in Washington, D.C. on the 13th or 14th December. So we need to have that because their military hardware is killing civilians in Ethiopia. they are contributing to the genocide Abiy Ahmed is carrying out in Ethiopia. So we need to denounce with a big slogan, go to their embassy, tell them to stop supplying drones and other military hardware and the expertise. So that is missing. I didn't hear that one. I heard about USA, stop supporting the killer government in Ethiopia. That's a good one. And that the pressure should continue, not only in the United States, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, Norway, all Denmark, almost everywhere in diaspora, plus all Oromos in the Middle East, plus all Oromos back home, not only students, fathers, mothers, brothers, they must join to put pressure on Prosperity Party, uh, to force it to have transitional government. Then the people will have a say who can lead them, who can stop this genocide, and who can help them to coexist peacefully. That's the right way. So we all must raise our voice, especially back home. Don't be silent. Join join the student, and don't leave the business only to them. That is wrong. That will not bring change. Government is already cracking down on them, arresting them, beating them. So that is the reason of the result of your being silent. You need to come out, join them in Adama, Finfinne, Dredoa, Shashamane. What you waiting for? What you are getting from Prosperity Party? Nothing. Nothing. Chaos, death, destruction. So why you are silent? So pressure should continue, and change will come in that way. Let's read other news. So this is the result of the pressure, internal and external pressure. Now the federal government having emergency meeting with the police commissioners. Let me read. Credit. The following three news are credit for Addis Standard. I always appreciate Addis Standard and OMN plus other media for my news. Federal, regional states, police commissioners joint emergency meeting discuss use of media, political parties to fuel incitement. Now they try to target media. They already targeted so many of them. Now maybe one or two left, so they want to target them. They want to shut them, and also political parties. The Federal Police Commission said a joint emergency meeting between the federal and the regional states police commissioners was held on Friday at the Ethiopian Federal Police Headquarters. The meeting focused on current national security issues, the federal police said. The police commissioners discussed in details topics related to the current national security, during which participants raised current issues, including the use of media and other means of communication to impede ongoing attempts by security forces to curb terrorism, extremism, and anti-theft measures, as well as using human rights issues by media as a cover-up to incite students and to create violence in some schools and universities, as well as in various parts of the country. The joint emergency meeting also raised and discussed issues related to some political parties that are legally registered and operating are using this as a cover and are heading toward the path of destruction, which the joint meeting confirmed according to the statement released by the federal police. But the statement didn't mention which media and political parties are the joint meeting participants accused. The meeting ended with an assurance that the security force will pay attention to uphold the rule of law in coordinated manner. So that is a threat. That's a threat. Watch out, political parties, and watch out, medias. That's a threat. And they try to crack down, and Abiy will not back down. Uh, he just he's just a dictator, another dictator, getting his roots down slowly. So he don't want any criticism. He don't want any protest. He don't want. He can, just. So he tried to use now the police and other security apparatus to shut down the media and probably to shut down political parties. Who are the focus? We're gonna follow it and we'll report to you. Opposition Oromo Federalist Congress calls for comprehensive peace solution to Oromia war to avert looming national crisis. So this is like a press statement by OFC. The opposition party, Oromo Federalist Congress, OFC, said Oromia has entered into a stage of such a devastating war and a great political crisis, while the overall political crisis in the country has reached at its peak, where the Prosperity Party-led government could not avert it. The party has called for a comprehensive peace approach to solve the deepening crisis in Oromia. Oromia has now entered into a stage of such a devastating war and a great political crisis that hundreds of civilians are killed every day. Thousands of households and their farms are being destroyed. Millions of them have been displaced from their homes, the party said. In a statement it released yesterday, the party accused the government of bombing civilians and destroying everything, including marketplaces, villages where civilians live, and schools. That bombs and rockets are raining indiscriminately on religious places of worship and killing civilians. The ruling Prosperity Party government and its surrogate allies are pushing the country and its people into the edge of a cliff, OFC said. Above all, choosing to incite and arm civilians to defend themselves in a way that is part of the deadly wrong counterinsurgency strategy, where organized and hostile armed forces from the neighboring region enter Oromia, especially the Wallagga zones, and participate in the war, would contextually mean creating fertile conditions that would lead to large-scale massacres in Oromia, the party said. The party stated. The party also said the infamous parliamentary group known as paramilitary group known as Amara Fano and the Amara Regional Government Militia, clandestine, organized, and armed by multiple Amara stakeholders in parts of Oromia, are encroaching into Oromia territories. After brutally killing the peaceful youths whom these militants kidnapped, they were seen abusing dead bodies of young Oromo men in ways that outrageous and contrary to normal human behavior and the culture norms of our society, it added. Yes. We urge the Amhara regional government to withdraw all its armed forces from Oromia that are committing atrocities against civilians. We further urge the regional government to control illegal militias supported and organized by extremists in Amhara region and that commit cross-border attacks against the people in Oromia. This military adventure is leading the country and its people to a holistic crisis whose results are difficult to predict. Choosing to push further forward along such line on the path of the Prosperity Party would only spell further disaster for our country and the mass deaths of civilians in Oromia and throughout Ethiopia, the party underscored. It urged that the militants who entered the Oromia region from the neighboring region should leave and peace talks should start with the armed forces operating in Oromia region. Addressing the international community, party said a piecemeal approach limited to one part of the country and ignoring the ongoing war and massacre in Oromia is a serious and unforgivable mistake on the part of the international community, adding that the peace pact that ignores the problem of Oromia does not treat the citizens of the country equally. The party called on the international community to put the necessary political pressure on the government to solve the political disputes in the country through political dialogue and a peaceful means instead of force, while urging provision of humanitarian aid to the millions of Oromia residents who have been displaced and at risk of starvation due to war and drought. Credit again for Addis Standard. So I have one more again from Addis Standard. So that's a very strong statement from Oromo Federalist Congress, Dr. Marara Gudina and his team. Very good, raising the issue of cross-border attack and all atrocities happening against the Oromo people, plus the silence of the international community. I don't know what they scare. I don't know what the issue with Oromos, why they are not, even the media, international media, nobody is covering. I've been checking VOA, BBC, Al Jazeera, State Department, nothing there. The White House, no, nothing. What is the issue? Oromos are the majority. That scare them. I don't know what the issue is. So we need, we need their voice. We need their support, and they must end their silence. And also, OFC, Oromo Federalist Congress. I know they are releasing press statement most of the time, but they have to think about calling on the people to come out to peacefully demonstrate. I didn't hear that call. That call must come from them, not in armed way, because that's a criminal. But call on the people to come out, protest peacefully against the regime, against ongoing cross-border attack. That's a right, I think, but they don't want to take a risk. Most of the time, they're just releasing press statement, which is good, but one is left. They have to come out and protest with the people of ECO. Dr. Marara Gudina, you need to act. You need to act. I know you are acting a different way, and maybe you are considering safety, but as a political party, you need to come out and protest with the people. against the ongoing genocide. Call on the people. They will come out if you call them. Yeah. So you need to do that. And we appreciate the releasing of different press statement at a different time, which is good. But come out and protest with the people. Call on the people against this government. Okay, this is UK. That's a very serious one, as I said. If they are helping the victims of the war, it's good. But if they are helping the recovery of Prosperity Party, that's not good. That's not good. So this is, let me read what it says. UK pledges full support to Ethiopia's path to recovery, urges international community to rally behind. Okay, let me see what it says. UK's Foreign Secretary James Cleverly, who is paying a working visit to Ethiopia to observe the improvements of humanitarian aid in the war-stricken northern part of the country, said Ethiopia can rely on UK's full support in its path to recovery, and the international community must also get behind this effort. Okay, that's a good recovery in that form is okay. But don't give him money to buy drones or other military hardwares. That's very dangerous. We are against that. Let me read again the other point. The peace agreement signed in Ethiopia last month is bringing to an end 2 years of a conflict which caused immense suffering for the people of Ethiopia, the secretary said. In a press release it sent to Addis Standard, the UK embassy in Addis Ababa said that the foreign secretary has paid a visit to Afar and saw trucks set off to deliver UK aid to parts affected by drought and conflict. According to the press release, the UK has previously led calls for a restoration of full aid access to Tigray, with millions cut off during the devastating 2-year conflict. The UK is preparing to provide further support for Ethiopia's peace process and long-term reform to promote peace, justice, and economic reform, it added. The Foreign Secretary recognizes that there is more to be done. That's why he is rallying the international community, ensuring support for the peace deal and more humanitarian aid to deliver health, water, hygiene, and nutrition for the 28.6 million people in need of assistance, according to the press release. The UK-funded trucks carrying aid have been reaching Tigray following a vital peace agreement made possible by effective international diplomacy, it stated. After meeting with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, the secretary also promised the Ethiopian government that this is a symbolic moment which paves the way for a stronger future partnership, delivering lasting peace and safety with international community focused on saving Ethiopians' life. Okay, that's good. Saving Ethiopians' lives, we should appreciate. Be careful that the money is not going to buy drones and other military hardwares. And we need UK support to bring those criminals for the days of almost more than 500,000 people in that country, and for the ongoing conflict in Oromo region. So Abiy Ahmed, he will come, he will face justice, and his team will face justice one day. So we need UK, US, and other countries' support in that end. And we welcome humanitarian aid to help the Tigrayans, to help the Oromos, to help other victims of drought and military conflict. So we appreciate that, but we have to be careful not to provide money for Abiy Ahmed to buy drones and other military hardware. This is from U.S. State Department. This is on Human Rights Day. Okay, I didn't know we have Human Rights Day. Let me read. On December 10, 1948, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, affirming that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. We honor Universal Declaration of Human Rights and its proclamation that human rights are to be universally protected. All persons have these rights and should be free to exercise them without discrimination, no matter what they believe, whom they love, or where they live. All means all. I agree. We recognize the inherent dignity and the rights of all are the bedrock for justice and peace around the world. Russia's brutal war against Ukraine puts into stark relief the imperative to stand up for this universal human right. United with our allies, we will continue to support the people of Ukraine as they courageously defend their country and their freedom. Russia is far from the only government in the world that abuses human rights. As the world faces atrocities, racism, injustice, and crackdowns on the freedom of expression and the peaceful assembly, we salute the brave people, including journalists, environmental activists, and other members of civil society who shine a light on abuses and strive for accountability. The United States champions a vision for our world grounded in respect for democracy and human rights. On its 74th anniversary, we celebrate this milestone document and urge implementation of its historic proclamation of universal human rights for everyone, everywhere. So that is U.S. State Department Office on Human Rights Day today. So you have a right to express yourself. You have a right to assemble for assembly. You have a right to practice any religion and love whoever you want to love. So these are universal rights everywhere, and we are now facing challenge under Abiy Ahmed, and Eritreans also facing a similar challenge under Isaias Afwerki leadership. So that's the situation. So that's the end of the reading. Let me just share a couple of videos. Before the videos, let me give you an update on Qatar, World Cup Qatar 2022. So now we have Morocco for the first time making history, advancing to semi-final by beating, beating Portugal 1-0. This is a milestone achievement for African countries. I think for the first time reaching to semi-final. So Morocco will be playing with the winner of today's game. I don't know if it's still done. France is leading 1-0 just before I start this broadcast against England. So if France win, Morocco will play with France. If France loses, Morocco will play with England. So that's the chance. So Morocco is making history and making Africans proud for the first time to reach semi-final. And Brazil is also sent home. Brazil is gone. Croatia still qualified for semi-final. Argentina in the group. So we have Morocco, Croatia, Argentina advanced to semi-final games, and the winner of France versus England will advance to the next game. So we have a game on next Wednesday. We are, Morocco is playing with one of the winner, either France or either England on Wednesday. So congratulations the Morocco team and for making Africans reach this level for the first time to making history. Okay, let's continue with other updates on the video. And Morocco and Argentina
have agreed to abolish visa requirements for their respective citizens. The two countries believe the move will bolster bilateral relations and improve people-to-people ties, besides entrenching regional integration. In a meeting between President William Ruto and his Eritrean counterpart, Isaias Afwerki, the two leaders also decided to cooperate in the African Union in the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Further, they agreed to cooperate and consult on regional integration and to safeguard regional peace, security, and development in the Horn of Africa.
Two excellencies agreed to bolster bilateral relations between Kenya and Eritrea, as well as improving people-to-people ties with a view to enhancing and entrenching regional integration. To this end, the two countries shall abolish visa requirements for their respective citizens. The two countries will also cooperate in the African Union in the spirit of Pan-Africanism.
Okay. Okay, this is Argentina. After winning, after securing us to semi-final stage. Okay, one more. That's Morocco. There we go. So thank you, VOA and Citizen TV. Also, AMN for recording those updates for us. So that's a celebration. We wish them, especially the Moroccos, to take the World Cup this year. Africa for the first time. We wish them good luck, Morocco team. And let me conclude by saying this: the pressure on Prosperity Party, Abiy Ahmed leadership, failed leadership in that country must continue at home and around the world. Oromo communities, Oromos must not, do it 1 or 2 days and then come to silence. No, that will not bring change. Continue like Arab Spring or like Sudanese protest. Sudanese are still protesting. They are dying, they are getting injured, but they are still coming out, demanding civilian leadership in that country. Oromos must continue to do that to end the suffering of Oromo civilians back home. And they must continue, and Oromo political parties must come out, protest with the people, encourage the people, call upon the people to come out and protest against Prosperity Party. And the diaspora community all over the world must come out and protest against Prosperity Party and against Fano cross-border attack. And if you deal with Prosperity Party, if you established the best government, you don't talk about this Fano small group. Because if you handle the head, the small ones will disappear. If you have a strong system in the central government, which can bring accountability, and you will not have individuals or groups massacring or conducting extrajudicial killing on the video, if you have accountability, because accountability brings justice for the victims. They cannot do it, but everything is possible under Prosperity Party, under Abiy Ahmed. Why? There is no accountability. So to bring that, to bring justice and to bring freedom to that country, to Oromia region especially, to end the cross-border attack, atrocities, drones, we need to increase our protest, our campaign, and we need to act against those countries supplying drones and other military hardware. Next time, I want to see that slogan against Turkey, against United Arab Emirates, or against whoever or whichever country supplying to Abiy Ahmed. Go to their embassy, show you disagreement with their policy, or you tell them you oppose selling military hardware to Ethiopia. So that should continue, and the mass protest must be organized all over the world, and we have to be the voice until the suffering ends in Oromia. That's all I'm going to say for today. Thank you for joining me. Be safe and have a nice weekend. So long, everyone.